everyone. Thank you for tuning in to How to Build Your Brand with Kroger Precision Marketing. We're thrilled to have Kroger joining us today, but before we get started, we're going to go over a few logistics. So the session and recording will be in your inbox by end of day today for you to go back and watch or for you to share with your colleagues. Also, within the next hour, you can log back in at any time using the same link. And you can download some of our handouts in the panel to the top right of your screen. You will see some of our recently released reports that you can download directly from there. Also, as you are joining our chat, please let us know where you are tuning in from. Looks like we have some people from Brooklyn, Philly. So just keep plugging those in there. We got Seattle, so welcome. Thank y'all for joining us. You can also submit questions through the chat, and we will get to those at the end during our live Q&A. And then finally, we have 2 poll questions that are live, so make sure to join in via the poll tab on the right-hand side of the dashboard if you go from chat to polls, including one that you can let us know if you want to talk to our teams after about how we can help you make the most out of your Kroger marketing strategy. And I will go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Catherine Bishop, Marketing Coordinator at Tinuiti, and I will be hosting the webinar today. So a little bit about Tinuiti. We have mastered the media that matters most. Tinuiti is the largest independent performance marketing firm across streaming TV in the triopoly of Google, Facebook, and Amazon. At Tinuiti, we understand that success requires both strategy and channel specialization. That approach wins us awards and recognition across the industry, such as the American Business Stevie Awards and the Shorty Awards, and allows us to help grow some amazing clients like those you see here. Now I'm going to hand it over to our speakers to let them introduce themselves, and we'll go ahead and start with Emily.
Hi, my name is Emily Shope. I'm a senior specialist at Tinuiti on the Emerging Marketplaces team. I have about 8 years of experience in digital media, and I work with CPG brands across all retail media platforms.
Hi, everyone. I'm Clay Payne. I'm on the agency team here at Kroger Precision Marketing, aka KPM. For those that don't know, KPM is actually part of 8451, which is the data and insights division within Kroger. I have several counterparts on my team that work directly with CPG brands, and I'm focused specifically on working with great agency partners like Tinuiti.
Hi, everyone. I'm Carly Lucas. I am a programmatic media ad sales account exec here at KPM. I'm one of Clay's counterparts and work across all different CPGs.
Awesome. We are so excited to have all of you here with us today. Before we get started, let's go ahead and take a little bit of a look at our agenda just so we can know what to expect throughout the session. So first we'll get started with what you need to know about Kroger, and then we'll jump into on-site best practices and programmatic opportunities, and then a little bit about measuring success and a case study, and then we are going to wrap up with a Q&A at the end. But before we do that, we would love to know from our audience, are you currently utilizing Kroger Precision Marketing? So that poll is open right now in the right-hand corner if you toggle over from the chat to polls. So if you can plug in your answers, it looks like we've had a few people answer already and say, not yet. And that seems to be the majority answer here is not yet. So that's awesome insight to have moving forward. I'm going to go ahead and go off camera and hand it back over to our speakers.
Okay, great. So to start, I wanted to take a moment to go over what you need to know about Kroger. Kroger is the largest grocery retailer in the United States with over 2,800 stores. Since their acquisition of 8451 and the creation of Kroger Precision Marketing, Kroger has grown dramatically in the e-commerce world. Even post-2020, they've continued that growth. Kroger offers closed-loop measurement, meaning that they can accurately attribute media to exposure to in-store sales due to their loyalty program. They're currently the only retail media partner that can do this. Kroger's going above and beyond using their first-party data, and they're building opportunities for brands to make the most of it. Next, Clay is going to share a bit more about Kroger's first-party data.
Thank you, Emily. So we believe the consumer's trust is the absolute foundation of accountability in digital marketing. The premium performance of our first-party data is the result of our trusted customer value exchange. And all the data we use was earned and consented, which is very important to us. So at Kroger, we think about the value exchange with our customers every day. And millions of households use our popular loyalty program because they understand that simple exchange. The more I shop with Kroger, the more I earn. And that could be in the form of savings and fuel points and cash back, community rewards. And now we even have a low-cost delivery subscription you may have heard of called Boost. So the result is that 96% of our sales are connected to a loyalty account. And you're going to hear us use that stat quite a bit. It comes up a lot in our dialogue because mainly it's a huge differentiator for us, especially compared to some of our industry peers where they may not have a loyalty program at all. Or most of their sales are in cash. So you can imagine why that's an important thing for us in terms of the efficacy of our data. But the difference between Kroger and other retail media networks isn't necessarily our scale. It's that value exchange that's implicit in our customer relationships. And brands understand that first-party data isn't something they have the right to own. Kroger's loyalty card program delivers value back to the shoppers. Like I said, the more you shop, the more savings and fuel points you earn. And so for the last 20 years or so, customers have opted to join into that program. And that's allowed us to capture all of this purchase data on those 96% of sales, resulting in a very longitudinal view of purchase data and behavior over time, which is, as you can imagine, very extremely valuable to CPG brands. So Emily mentioned earlier that we have over 2,800 stores. And that's about 1,000 more stores than Target, just to kind of put things into perspective. And that doesn't include any that we may be adding in the near future if you're keeping track of the news at all. So we're also very unique in that we have different names or banners, as we like to call them, in various regions. So even if you don't have a Kroger in your home market, if you've been down south, you may have been to a Harris Teeter, or if you're in Chicago like me, you may shop at Mariano's. We also have Ralph's out in California and King Soopers in the mountain region. And then one of my favorites, Murray's Cheese in New York City. So beyond just that brick and mortar presence, we have over 1,600 of our own fuel centers, you can see on the slide here, and another 8,000 with our partners, BP and Shell. We also have over 2,300 pharmacies. So you'll hear us talk about scale a lot, especially as we're adding also these fulfillment centers throughout the US that are rapidly expanding our delivery footprint and our last mile experience with the customer. We could have an entirely separate conversation about that, just as it's such a key strategy for us. What that all adds up to, though, is over 4 billion transactions annually and growing as we continue to expand. And this all culminates in an amazing first-party data set. It can be utilized for targeting and segmentation either across our sites or programmatically on the open web. It's also a very pure first-party data set. We like to really emphasize that point. We don't have to make assumptions through aggregated credit card data or lose intelligence from cash transactions, all because of that high capture rate that I've mentioned a couple times already. And that relationship that we have with our shoppers gives us this longitudinal view of what households are buying over time. We have thousands of variables that are tracked and analyzed. 10 petabytes of Kroger's first-party behavioral data is what it's amounted to thus far, and it's refreshed weekly. So this scale that I keep talking about is critical for our data scientists to apply, machine learning models on data signals to inspire discovery and drive conversion. And in total, we generate over 3,000 variables to predict which households are the ideal households to target, depending on a client's objective, advertising, duration, and budget. So we're able to apply this targeting science to help brands reach the right households and reduce advertising waste, which is increasingly more important. And we predict how different households will respond to different media channels. Households are scored across thousands of variables, and that scoring influences what messages we expose them to. And these scores range from a behavior across categories, price sensitivity, brand loyalty, and we even now have the ability to predict which households will respond to a new item innovation or launch. So the output is a pre-optimized audience tailored for every brand's objective, budget, and timing. So that was me talking for a long time about numbers and stats. But what I really want you to remember is just that we launched KPM 5 years ago with a mission to make advertising more effective for all of our CPG brand partners. And today, the spotlight is on retail media as a powerful new lever to influence shopping decisions. And to that end, traditionally, those benefits of retail media have been constrained to on-site touch points like PLAs and branded landing pages, right? But to be an effective partner for CPG brands, we recognize that KPM needs to work where consumers are spending their media and their media consumption time. So today, our media portfolio includes not only that on-site media that you would expect from retailers, but also off-site partnerships with other publishers like Pinterest and Roku and Pandora. And we just recently announced a partnership with Snap as well that we're very excited about. But our biggest launch of the last year or so is a private marketplace to allow brands to use their data programmatically for reach and measurement across the open web. Carly is going to get into that more specifically in a bit. But first, just since the foundation of any strong retail strategy is on-site search with a focus on products, I'll turn it over to Emily to walk us through some of the best practices she can recommend.
Thanks, Clay. So to begin building your brand with Kroger, on-site placements are one of the best places to start. So product listing ads or PLAs help drive sales and increase consideration for your products as users are actively shopping. Kroger uses a cost per click pricing model to showcase products for relevant queries. Roughly 85% of searches on Kroger are unbranded, with about 50 to 70% of those resulting in a conversion. Visibility in search pages is key to help drive incremental sales at Kroger. Kroger currently offers 3 product listing ad placement types. So there's basket builder, savings, and search and browse. Basket builder ads are product listing ads within search results and other experiences that use historic purchase data to show relevant products to consumers. Savings ads are PLAs that also appear in the same places that promote products that are on sale. You must be participating in an active offer in order to run those placements. And then lastly, search and browse are product listing ads within search results and other shopping experiences, and these are targeted based on categories. Next, we'll look at expected performance and other considerations with PLAs. While performance varies from placement type, we generally see a return on ad spend of $3 to $6, a CTR of 0.3 to 0.5%, and roughly 8% of sales attributed in store. When setting up campaigns, there are some important tips to keep in mind. Targeting is set by the UPCs you'd like to promote with no keyword targeting at this time. We typically recommend including 6 to 10 products per campaign for best performance. Once UPCs are selected for targeting, category targeting auto-populates based on the categories of the featured UPCs. You're able to deselect categories once those are pulled in. And then lastly, you can also choose to target specific regions or specific Kroger retailers if that's a priority for you. Next, I will dive into other on-site opportunities. Targeted on-site ads are display ads shown on Kroger property sites that help increase brand awareness and consideration. Targeted on-site ads, or TOAs as we refer to them, offer category targeting options for both relevant and complementary categories. These use a view-based price model with CPM bids. Now that we've covered the basics of on-site advertising with Kroger, I'll share some best practices when planning Kroger campaigns. So we recommend using PLAs as an evergreen approach to defend your category on the digital shelf. With shoppers searching by category rather than by brand, the majority of searches on Kroger are unbranded, and 40% of those clicks are new to brand. PLAs are a really great starting place for Kroger advertising because they're effective at driving sales. So while PLAs are a great baseline, we find that they work best when combined with other on-site touchpoints. So shoppers exposed to multiple touchpoints, such as PLAs coupled with targeted on-site ads, are 15 times more likely to convert than those who saw product listing ads alone. If an always-on strategy isn't feasible for some of the more upper funnel tactics, we recommend working with a partner to help you strategize around key seasonalities for your brand to make the most of advertising with Kroger. Next, it's really important to have strong budgets in place for PLAs to allow campaigns to participate in all auctions. A study of KPM on-site campaigns found that campaigns live in the evening saw a stronger return on ad spend than those that ran earlier in the day. Day parting isn't currently an option with Kroger, but having strong budgets to support those helps them perform at their best. Lastly, offering promotions and coupons is a great way to drive incremental sales for your brand on site with Kroger. 37% of shoppers look for coupons before they shop. Price consciousness has only increased this year, and Kroger has dedicated an entire section to their website and app for coupons to allow shoppers to save money. Outside of product listing ads, Kroger also offers digital coupons that can be promoted with social or influencers to further promote your brand's offers. So while an on-site strategy is a great place to begin advertising with Kroger, they also offer really robust offsite targeting options to allow you to keep your brand top of mind with shoppers outside of Kroger.com. And with that, I'll let Clay share some exciting updates in regards to Kroger's programmatic offerings.
Yeah, thanks. I alluded to this earlier, but until recently, all of our powerful customer data has only been available in kind of a managed service arrangement with certain partners. And now we've launched our Kroger private marketplace to unleash that first-party audience data in the programmatic space. I'll turn it over to my colleague, Carly, to walk us through what this looks like.
Awesome. Thank you, Clay. So our PMP offering is a little bit different than a traditional PMP. We are essentially pairing our first-party audiences with SSP inventory and packaging those into a deal ID for you to activate in the DSP of your choice. With this, our offering was built on these 4 key pillars. 1 is exclusive first-party targeting, 2, flexible activation, 3, secure data, and 4, meaningful measurement. I'll dive into each of these a little bit more. First one is exclusive first-party targeting. So all of our targeting is rooted in UPC purchase behavior. It is not modeled in any way, and it goes back to that stat that Clay shared of 96% of all Kroger transactions are captured through that Loyalty Plus card. We can target current brand buyers, category buyers, lapsed buyers, competitive buyers. We can get really custom based on your brand's objectives and really meet your needs. So growing the category, incremental share, again, just the ability to customize each audience and that it is all rooted in UPC purchase behavior. Next piece here is transacting seamlessly across your tech stack. So our PMP offering is going to meet you wherever you already are activating. So we are DSP agnostic with the exception of Amazon for obvious reasons. So we will provide you guys with deal IDs for you to pop into the DSP of your choice. The second piece here is this SSP inventory. So you do have the ability to apply inclusion, exclusion lists in your DSP to really customize the inventory that you want to run across. We are continuously rolling out new partners. We actually just rolled out Magnite, which we're really excited about with CTV inventory. But yes, those are the SSP partners. Next here is just brand safety. Back to what Clay had mentioned earlier, we are really interested in keeping Kroger household data secure and safe. And that is the reason why we activate in the form of a deal ID for you to activate in the DSP of your choice. Lastly here, we're missing a screenshot, but I'll chat through what the Prism dashboard looks like. So the clients will have access to this in real time. It will automatically update every 24 to 48 hours and capture sales based on households that have been exposed to the media. I think this is one of the coolest parts of our offering because you're able to optimize your campaigns towards more meaningful metrics as opposed to like a click-through rate or something that's normally available in the DSP. You have the ability to export it into different forms. We're continuously rolling out new metrics. We rolled up household penetration right after launch. Households exposed is an additional metric. We break it out by audience, device, day, and then lastly is UPCs. So we can drill specifically down into which UPCs are driving the strongest sales for your campaign based on households exposed. Again, making these optimizations way more meaningful as opposed to a directional click-through rate or something like that. Really excited to report back that across all of the PMP campaigns right now, we're seeing an average return on ad spend of 8 to 10x. So incredible results. I will caveat that this varies by category and by brand. But yes, super, super strong. This is across display campaigns. Video and CTV are a little bit different. But again, super strong results that we're seeing across the board. Lastly, I'll tie it all together. So we have those 4 key pillars, that exclusive first-party targeting. We do not have to model our data in any way. You can get really, really custom with your audience segments based on objective, flexible activation. We are going to meet you where you already are activating programmatically to make it as seamless as possible. Secure data, we activate in the form of a deal ID. And lastly, meaningful measurement. You guys can optimize your campaigns towards actual sales and household penetration. And with that, I'm going to pass it back to the team to go through measuring for success.
Thanks, Carly. So yeah, while typical media KPIs are still relevant here, Kroger does go one step further by offering incremental sales lift metrics. So many media companies report on attributed sales through extrapolated data, which can mean that they take credit for sales that they didn't necessarily impact. Kroger reports on incremental sales by comparing against a better control group, one that mirrors the targeted audience. So because Kroger has a view of typical sales during any given period of time, they're able to more accurately account for organic sales. So with Kroger campaigns, they're able to show incremental sales lift to allow a better understanding for actual performance. And with that, I will dive into a case study. So as we mentioned, PLAs see stronger results when coupled with other upper funnel tactics. In this case study, an organic beverage brand with lower SKU counts and low awareness was having a difficult time showing up for relevant searches, despite having strong bids in place. They wanted to increase their presence on site to earn more sales. So with that, they began a PLA campaign, and 6 weeks into that, added a targeted on-site ad, which targeted subcommodities that the brand wasn't in, but were still relevant to the beverage as a whole. The 2 tactics ran together for 3 weeks. Looking at results with this coupled approach, they saw greater success when both campaigns were live. When adding in the TOA, the extended reach saw 30% of its attributed sales coming from targets that the brand did not have a product in. This allowed for a greater sales impact than the PLA would have been able to do alone. In addition, the average order value was the highest for the targeted on-site ad, with shoppers adding more units on average to cart. Overall, PLAs did still see the strongest return on ad spend. However, additional sales were made possible by the TOA. So just to recap some key takeaways, product listing ads are the best place to get started with Kroger to help you drive visibility to users that are ready to convert. Expanding reach with PMP network drives increased brand awareness and consideration with Kroger shoppers.
Yeah, and then my biggest takeaway is just that the scale and quality of our first-party data really sets us apart from other retailers, especially as we're continuing to grow rapidly. We have a huge focus on partnering with key publishers and tech providers in order to kind of move towards that more full funnel solution. And we'd love to talk more with you and your brands and partner with Tinuiti to reach your customers in an efficient and effective way.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Emily, Clay, and Carly, for walking us through Kroger Precision Marketing and giving us so many valuable insights to walk away with. Before we jump into Q&A, we would love to be able to continue the conversation for how Tinuiti can help you leverage your Kroger marketing strategy. You can let us know via the poll that is open now in the poll tab in the right-hand corner if you want to talk to our teams further. So we're going to move into our Q&A, but first I do just want to call attention to the QR codes. These will take you to our speakers' LinkedIn pages if you would like to connect with them there. So let's get started. Let's see. All right, so from Jesse, is ROAs the right goal for PLAs, or should brands consider incremental sales or total sales volume like they might with end cap, shelf placement in store? Who would like to tackle that question from Jesse?
I think from a Kroger perspective, return on ad spend is really an important one that we spend a lot of time on, just because we are able to provide that full closed loop measurement, and we can tell you exactly what that investment in the PLA returned in the form of sales. So I think it's definitely a key one. There's obviously other KPIs that may be important, but return on ad spend, attributable and incremental, are truly important increments for us, or KPIs for us.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And depending on like your budgets and priorities and things too, like a lot of things vary into that. But ultimately, depending if like sales is your goal, that's what the metric I would use when optimizing an account.
Awesome. All right. Another question, what type of budget split would you recommend for on-site versus off-site?
I think this really varies based on your total budget, but I would say definitely make sure that you're fully funded on product listing ads, since those are lower funnel and drive sales, keeping top of mind as people are shopping. So, and then with that, the sky is kind of the limit with opportunities with Kroger. So really starting there and then adding on as you can.
Yeah, and I agree with that as well. I think it's hard to say like what exact split, but I would say making sure your PLA strategy is as complete as possible, and you're retaining the households and reaching new households. That's always important. The first dollar should always go towards search, and then beyond that, I think is where you'd want to expand into offsite and programmatic, etc.
Thank you both. Another audience question. Any strong or less strong opinions on mix of PLA, PMP when starting out and like after a couple of quarters live?
Mix of PLA. I mean, again, I think it kind of echoes the previous question. I would say, what Emily said as far as making sure that your PLA strategy is complete and efficient. And then PMP is an excellent counterpart to PLA, just to kind of, utilize the same data and make that campaign more mid and upper funnel as well. And then, those customers that shake out in the funnel, you can grab them with, kind of the lower funnel PLA strategy that you have in place.
Yeah, I agree with Clay. In addition to that, I think if you're a brand new at Kroger, I think awareness is really important. And so while you definitely want product listing ads there, you would definitely benefit from a PMP strategy as well.
Thank you. Another question, what CPM ranges would we expect to see on PMP?
Yeah, I'm happy to jump in there. So for display, our floor price is $6. Video is $15.50. We've been seeing it clear pretty close to that. Would recommend to increase your bids against audiences that you really want to go after. So competitive buyers, things like that. But we have been seeing the media clear pretty close to the floor.
Yeah, and I would add to that, just those CPMs that Carly mentioned are inclusive of not only the media itself, but also the targeting and the audience segmentation, as well as the full closed loop measurement is in addition to that.
Yep, spot on. No additional cost for measurement.
Thank you. Let's see. Another audience question for Mike. Does Kroger have a focus on collaborating with brands in the sports world? For example, NASCAR, football, horse racing?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. So I would say from a Kroger perspective, yes, you're going to see us get involved. If you watch a Reds game or watch the Kentucky Derby, you're going to see Kroger involvement. From a Kroger Precision Marketing and from the media standpoint, I think most of that involvement, there's a lot of integration with NASCAR. But again, I think that's just kind of a case-by-case basis. It's not necessarily part of what the media team is doing. It's more of the collaboration between the brands and the merchandising counterparts that work with Kroger stores directly.
Thank you. I think I've got one more question to wrap us up. Is sales reporting broken out by in-store versus pickup versus delivery sales?
Yes, absolutely. So in our vernacular, we call that modality. And so all of our reporting, our closed loop measurement includes in-store and online, and we do break it out by those modalities as well. Pick up, delivery, in-store, online. Yep, absolutely.
Awesome. I think that is all for our Q&A. I just want to thank our speakers for answering those questions and for our audience for being engaged. Before we wrap up today, I do want to call attention to our content hub. Here you can register for upcoming webinars, watch previous recordings, and also check out our blog posts and guides. So a lot of great stuff there. You can click the link that is live in the bottom left hand of your screen to get there. And then just a big thank you to our speakers and our audience for tuning in. I do want to let everyone know that once you close out of the session, you will be directed to our feedback form, and we would love to hear from you, not only about what you thought of the session today, but what you would like to see moving forward with topics. So please let us know using that form. Thank you all again, and I hope everyone has a great rest of their day.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.